Hi guys, today here's a new video, and this video we're going to talk about warriors and the different specs. We have arms and fury, and I want to give out the pros and cons of both specs and actually give out why fury is not good at the moment compared to arms. There are a multitude of factors, and a lot of people are like crying on my tier list, like why did you put like fury that low on the tier list? And they don't even understand why, and they think they're looking at the damage of a fury warrior and they think that everything is coming down to damage, which in my opinion is short-sighted. Now let's talk about in general what fury is. Fury warriors are actually one of the best specs out there if you want to deal damage, like purely in a BG or purely in, let's say, a environment where you can just 1v1 someone. It is something that you can do, and it is something you can actually achieve as a fury warrior. Now the issue is with a fury warrior is that purely you can be kited pretty hard. We don't have anything that can actually just ignore straight up any roots or any snares. We have, of course, Blood Rage, which is a 20-second CD. It does cost a bit of health, but that's it. But the issue is you cannot spam it, and you can easily get out CC'd by someone. While Arms Warrior, for example, they have Double Blade Storm. Right now, Double Blade Storm is the meta build, where you play with Avatar giving you Blade Storm and Blade Storm giving you Avatar. And that alone is giving you a lot of uptime that you would not have if you are playing a Fury Warrior. Of course, if someone is ignoring you and straight up just tanks every single hit you're going to do amazing as a Fury Warrior, but you will see that the higher you go, like in 3s or even in 2s, but also in Soul Shuffle, the higher you go, the more likely you're going to get out-kited, out-CC'd, outmaneuvered by the enemy team, depending on who you're facing. Of course, if you're facing a DK with a Paladin, you're going to have a great time because you're going to probably have a lot of uptime. You can even go for the healer and you will cleave them 3 together because they are going to go for you because they will feel like you're very squishy. And that's the point where I feel like Fury Warrior is also lacking. We lack defensives that are not tied to dampening. We have Enrage Regeneration, we have Impending Victory, and of course Rallying Cry and other factors that are all affected by dampening. I think Rallying Cry is not affected by dampening, but it's temporary health, right? So you're going to maybe die because of that if you're very low HP. Those are the only things that we have running, and yes, in a 1v1 open world BG environment, you're going to do a bit better because Impending Victory is going to have a lot of value. You have your reduced damage taken, which is interesting because you can cast while stunned or incapped, but you can also restore health with Bloodthirst. Also, by pressing Enrage Regen, you get also some HP from Invigorating Fury, which is also a good thing. But all of this is affected in dampening, all of this is affected by arenas, and just in general, you cannot rely on this to survive alone, because you can also get MS'd, you can, like Moral Strike, you can also get a high dampening match where, again, if you have to press the defensive in high dampening, you're not going to see a difference. In Warpaint, which is also nerfed in PvP, it's only 5%, for example. And all of this combined with the incapacity to stick on our targets is making it very difficult for Fury Warrior to exist in a lot of lobbies where Arms Warrior could exist. Now, Arms Warrior also has those issues. They also have issues with kiting, but imagine if they have issues, Fury Warrior has its tenfold with the loss of a Blade Storm effect. In Shadowlands, we had Crushing Blows actually giving a charge effect, so if you're doing a crushing blow, you would charge onto the enemy, which was very strong because you had like crushing blow probably like 80% or 90% of the time every time you're going to do a rampage, because of the 4 set in season 3, also season 4. that gave you like a lot of uptime with crushing blow. It's the effect that we have it right now with unbridled ferocity, giving us recklessness, which reckless abandon gives us the crushing blow effect. That in Shadowlands made you charge onto the enemy. Right now, it doesn't do anything except damage, and even then, sometimes you just prefer to do a bloodthirst. And that's one of the issues. You lost mobility from Shadowlands to Dragonflight, but also we lost Bladestorm, which was a opportunity for you to take in Shadowlands as a talent that is gone in Dragonflight. So all of this combined with also being a bit less tanky because of the warping being now 5%, the invigorating fury being super affected by dampening, but also enraged regen being affected by dampening. But that also combined with, if you're stunned, you will have no value from it. If you're getting feared or if you're getting kited, you will not be able to spam bloodthirst to get some HP back from it. So all of this combined makes it very difficult for Fury to be higher on the tier list, because again, it is not a meta where they are going to PvE melee against you and try to survive a lot of damage. That's not going to happen. And this, with the loss of like the dampening, with the loss of survivability, with the loss of Bladestorm, is a huge blow to Fury. Although you have the same kind of damage as Arms Warrior, Arms Warrior has way more impact on those little moments where you have a kill potential. Not only that, we have a great MS effect as a Fury Warrior. We have 36%, which is huge, but you have to stack it like 3 times. So you have 3 rampages that can give you 36%. But if you're only doing 1 and someone applies their MS effect onto the target, it will just override your rampage stacks, so you cannot stack it even further than 24% or 36%. So that's an issue. So sometimes if you're playing with a assassination rogue or with a subtlety rogue, you're asking your rogues to actually remove their wound poison, so you can actually just add that slaughterhouse into the enemy, but you cannot ask the windwalker or the arms warrior to remove more strike or rise and sun kick from their bars. That is not going to happen. So that is one issue, but I think it's very hard to change, except make it like a 2 charge, so you're getting like 24% and then you're getting 36% if you're doing a rampage, but that would be a bit too strong, I think. But yeah, that's one of the issues as a Fury Warrior that, for example, a Arms Warrior doesn't have to have. Now let's talk about Arms Warrior. What is making Arms Warrior right now a bit better? Not a bit better, but like way better than Fury right now. And you would say that Arms Warrior is maybe, like, for example, for me, I would not say that Arms Warrior is S tier, because I think it is not the meta for Arms Warrior to be S tier. But as a Arms Warrior, you can actually stick to the target a bit easier with double Bladestorm. If you start with Bladestorm, first and foremost, if you're playing with the PvP talent, you have a 70% slow, which works fantastically versus druids, because even if they shapeshift, they will get snared because every single tick will apply that 70%. So it's very hard for them to actually run away. But also we have Hurricane, which gives us a bit of movement speed, a bit of strength, of course, but movement speed while doing Bladestorm, which again makes you being able to stick to the enemy, which is also very, very interesting. We also have way more on-demand damage than, let's say, a Fury Warrior. I think Fury Warrior can personally do a lot of burst, but on a longer period, while Arms Warrior, again, I don't even know if that's true anymore, because I feel like you have so many burst potentials as an Arms Warrior and way more openings to do so, that it feels a lot easier to play as an Arms Warrior right now. But normally a Fury Warrior can actually deal significant amount of damage, and that is not really going to be much lower than what you would do consistent damage wise. But an Arms Warrior has a lot of consistent damage that is not going to be that high, but whenever you have that consistent damage going and you have your burst ready with your Bladestorm or Avatar or Colossus Smash, or even all of 3 combined, that is going to give you a lot of burst potential with like one hit more strike of 200k, for example, or execute for a lot of damage with also the thunderclap that is following with the foreset. So all of this with the capacity of ignoring CC, with the capacity of ignoring snares and roots, the capacity to actually use die by the sword and ignoring a lot of the melee strikes. And yes, it is not perfect because you can also get cheap shotted through die by the sword, or you could easily get stopped easily by just kiting again die by the sword and not hitting melee, but like being a caster and you can just go through. But I think they have way more defensives with Ignore Pain. Something that people forget of Arms Warrior, if just Ignore Pain exists, that is going to out heal, at least like on the healing meters, like a Fury Warrior. I think Ignore Pain, for example, we have here a game of damage on. I don't know, maybe the Arms Warrior didn't heal too much. He didn't heal too much because he didn't press Ignore Pain that much. Again, I think he didn't even play with Ignore Pain. Yeah, he did. He didn't press, like he did press only 2 times. But with 2 times, he does the same amount of healing than me as an Arms Warrior, Fury Warrior, which is quite disheartening because, again, you should not be able to out damage out heal a Fury Warrior as an Arms Warrior, but it is what it is at the end of the day. But that combined with the defensives, combined with the Blaze Storms, ignoring CC, which again, if you're getting CC'd, that is the best possible way to eliminate someone in PvP. Being CC'd, crowd controlled, being out of the action, out of the possibility to retaliate, just gives a lot of openings to the enemy team to actually win because of that. So again, when people are saying to me that, look, Fury Warrior has the same amount of damage as the Arms Warrior, I can agree with you. That's not a problem. I think the damage is not a problem for Fury. I think Fury, the problem is the uptime. And I think with the nerfs to the Reckless Abandon talent from Fury Warriors, only giving you 1 enhanced strike, either Crushing Blow or Bloodbath, I think that would be the perfect time to actually bring back the mini charge that you would get from Crushing Blow. That would give you a bit more mobility, a bit more stickiness. I think, yes, people would not like it, especially casters, and I play casters, so I understand that. But I think Fury being less mobile than an Arms Warrior is kind of ludicrous. I think also the philosophy of a Fury Warrior versus Arms Warrior was, at least that's how I saw, that Fury Warrior was way better versus casters, and Arms Warrior was normally better versus melees. But I kind of feel like Arms Warrior is just better versus both of them compared to Fury Warrior. So instead of giving damage and only damage to Fury Warrior, I think they should bring a bit more utility, a bit more mobility, maybe a bit more defensives, maybe. Like, it depends, choose whatever you want, but give something extra to Fury Warrior to be able to, I would say, be an alternative to Arms. Because right now I feel like if you're playing Fury, it's because you love Fury, but not personally because you think it's the best way to have a comp work. Because there are just a few, like, I think there's only one comp where I would maybe prefer a Fury Warrior over a Arms Warrior, but even then it would be a stretch. I think Arms Warrior is vastly better than Fury, and yes, we are lucky as a warrior to have like a best performing spec out there, but I think giving the possibility for Fury to be competitive without giving like insane amount of damage. You don't want to make them one-shot people either. You want to be able to competitive, be competing versus other specs, and being able to actually not be seen as a OP spec without feeling like you're like left behind compared to the other specs, for example. So that would be my video, I would say, between Arms and Fury. Why Arms? Why Fury? Personally, I prefer Arms right now from a mile because I think the gameplay is way more engaging. I think Fury is also fun, but I don't think like it gives me the motivation or the tools, or I would say the capacity to enjoy Fury like plentiful. I think it's very frustrating most of the games. And I think it's a shame that such a iconic spec that is just left behind in the dust by Blizzard. because they don't know how to buff the spec without making it OP. You don't need to make it OP, you just need to make it feel good versus the specs that you are normally should be feeling good. So again, thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate you. I'm very sorry for my broken voice, but it is what it is because I'm sick. But if you want to discuss about it in the comment section below about arms and fury, why would you think that fury is worse than arms? Like, again, I said that multiple times in tier list. Sometimes you have people coming to me like saying that it is A tier, which I think is just not the reality, but it is what it is. Discuss with me. What do you think we could give to Fury Warriors without making them OP? A tool that would make them maybe B tier or A tier or maybe a bit higher, but at least differentiate between arms and Fury without like giving damage. I think damage is not the issue. It was never the issue for Fury Warrior. I think it is purely the uptime. I think the overall defenses are just too low compared to, let's say, a Arms Warrior. And even Arms Warrior is not that fantastic defensively. So again, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Be sure to stay safe. We will catch you up probably very soon in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.